Today, I want to share 3 things I do in autumn to prepare for the next growing season. As summer fades and the leaves transition from hues of purple, orange and yellow, the landscape transforms in preparation for winter. In the valley of Stellenbosch, where I've recently relocated, the scenery paints a picturesque view of vineyards and fields adorned in sage of orange and red. This new home stems with life, from buzzing bees to chirping birds, and the last remnants of the summer dance in the wind, with some flowers losing their final petals. Before I continue, let me make one thing clear. I'm not a bonsai professional. The insights I share come from personal experience and research cultivated through years of nurturing bonsai as a hobby. I've been growing junipers for more than 7 years now, and I think I finally understand their growing routine. When I started out with bonsai, I just accumulated as many trees as I could and kind of treated them all in the same general way, not realizing that all trees have their own growing routine and cycles. Knowing how to care for your trees and when to do what is very important if you wish to get the maximum out of your plants. Here are a few facts about junipers that will help you understand the tree's setup. Junipers love full sun and use the energy from the sun to synthesize carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and then use those carbohydrates as an energy source in cellular respiration. This process is called photoautotrophy. Junipers need at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight during the growing season, so ensure they have full sun. Junipers have 2 types of growth, juvenile and mature. Juvenile growth can be described as needle-like and mature growth as scale-like. Junipers store energy in their leaves. They love well-drained soil mixtures. Autumn is an important time for junipers as they start the second growing season. This season is not as noticeable as the first, but you can see the changes in the tree. This is an indicator that the tree is putting out the last bit of growth before its winter dormancy. This is the last chance to trim back the long shoots that you've allowed to grow out and harden off during spring, and to feed the tree. Doing this will set the tree up for a head start in the next growing season. Now, let's go through the 3 steps. Number 1, remove all weeds. Removing all weeds from a tree sounds like a no-brainer, and I know what you are thinking. Why not remove the weeds throughout the year? It's simple. During the growing season, I do not work on my junipers. I just let them grow. If I remove weeds during the peak growing season, I could break off new tender roots. When removing weeds, I make sure to remove all of the weeds with roots and all, taking the time to remove any small weeds that have just sprouted as well. Removing the weeds helps the tree keep nutrients for itself and also aerates the soil. Number 2, prune back some of the previous season's growth. Junipers are very hardy, and from a personal experience, I can say that they can be pruned back at any time. But if you want to maintain mature growth on the tree, you're better off leaving the growth to harden off during the season and then prune back in autumn. When you open up the tree, you are allowing air and light into the inside of the tree, allowing buds further down to get sunlight and develop. Why would you need buds further back to develop? Well, if you keep pruning back just the tips of the branches will get longer and longer. If you develop buds closer to a trunk, you can cut back some of the longer, older branches and the new buds will fill in the gaps. Note that when you're opening up the tree section, even trimming back to the trunk, make sure that you leave stumps. Junipers bud back between the branch and the trunk, so always leave something for the buds to grow on. This can always be ginned or removed completely at a later stage. When pruning, never remove more than 40% of the foliage, as that is where junipers store their growth or their energy. If you remove too much of the growing tips, you will weaken the tree and leave it in a deficit for the new growing season, this starting further back than the first season. Number 3, add slow releasing fertilizer to the growing medium. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I like adding worm castings to my bonsai medium. After I work on my junipers, I add a well-distributed layer of worm castings to the growing medium. I don't mix the worm castings with the growing medium, I just put it on top of the growing medium, around the trunk and in the corners of the pot. What this does is every time I water or it rains, the water will run through the worm casting and leach the nutrients into the growing medium. The castings will break up over time and release the nutrients the tree needs at a slow pace and get weaker and weaker By the time it's winter, most of the nutrients in the castings will have dissolved and leached out. This is important as you do not want to feed your tree during its dormancy. These are the 3 tasks that I do for junipers during their growing cycle. So I hope these steps help you to grow better junipers. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to pop them in the comment section below. For more videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Till next time, happy gardening.